Hey guys, this is Sandeep from RevAtlas, and today's video is quite a bit different from what we do usually. There are no reviews, no camera reviews, no samples, no comparisons, no speed tests, charging tests, etc. So I generally avoid these kind of videos as they tend to uh, draw too much negative attention. But this is something that I felt I had to do because of how severely it has impacted me personally, at least on a personal level, if not RevAtlas as a whole. So I'd like to start by talking about you know the RevAtlas journey. It's been 3 years, over 3 years. May 21st, 2017 was when we started, and I honestly did not believe that we would be here right now. I mean, with over 100,000 subscribers, many millions of views, and so many comments encouraging us, telling us how our content has affected you all for the better. And of course we have made mistakes. We're all human, we all have made mistakes, and so have we. So overall, I'm very thankful to all of you, thankful to our audience, thankful to all the brands who have trusted us and have believed in us, thankful to my family, my wife, my son, our parents, our friends, everyone who has supported us and helped us reach this stage. Now, it was very kind of brands to sort of invite us to events and start seating us when we started, because we didn't have anything to show. The easiest metric to kind of show is probably the quality of your work. And I would say that our quality spoke for itself, and I hope it still speaks for itself. And that was the reason why many brands chose to include us in their circle, amongst many other journalists and esteemed YouTubers and everything, and people who basically have been doing this for a long time. So I was in the industry for a while as well, so maybe I found it was easier for me to get into this or get back into this on my own. But nonetheless, it wouldn't have happened without support from the brands as well as the agencies that take care of all the communication. And this video is specifically about communication, or rather lack of, and how that can affect someone and a particular channel, someone's entire thought process or the workflow and things like that. So um, this particular brand that I would like to talk about, the brand and their agency, and everyone who is linked to it, I would like to talk about, has not caused issues or not caused problems just this once. There have been many instances where we have faced issues, which is why I feel like I need to speak about this. And I don't want to take the name of any brand, or I don't want to publicly shame that brand. That's not what I do. That's not what we at RevAtlas do, or anyone. But I just want to talk about some of the things which personally they can fix in order to help improve things with us or anyone else who might be affected or in a similar position. So the first instance of this happened shortly after the inception of RevAtlas, and there was an event that's happening for a brand new product that the brand was launching, and the invite was handed to us in person, and I was quite excited to try this new device and cover it. And of course, even if we don't get a review unit, being invited to an event itself is great. And I'd like to actually thank someone. So I think positive thoughts and mentioning brands are fine. So I'd like to thank ASUS, because they were the first ever ones to trust us with an event, and one of the first even to give us a review unit. And that way, they're still trusting us with our work, and they realize the kind of difference that we make to both the consumers as well as the overall tech community. So thanks to ASUS for that. But basically there was this confusion at the time, that I misrepresented myself as being part of my previous organization to get access to the invite. Now I didn't do that, and in fact I even had proof that I didn't do that, because I had a chat with the person who handed over the invite to me, and this entire issue was caused by some other person in the agency who I have not met, who I have not even spoken with or messaged. And overall this caused a lot of confusion, a lot of cold shoulders, and finally, because I had that chat proof and with permission I shared that to my former employer, I was able to get out of that. but that caused unnecessary tension which could have been avoided with proper communication. So that person who blamed me and said that I did this didn't actually approach me and try to rectify the situation. Rather, they just felt they had to say some things in a certain way, and they just said it without any proper confirmation or clarification from my side, and that caused a lot of issues. And apart from that, that same year there was another product announcement and event, and because of what happened earlier, they said that we're really sorry for this and this won't happen. And I was fine with it. I mean, mistakes do happen, everyone makes mistakes, we're all human, but that happened again. I mean, not the exact same instance, but we were sort of promised an invite to the event, at least if not for a review unit, but we didn't get either. And then it happened even at the next launch, where again we were promised, and this time around we were promised a device as well at the launch, but instead we got a specific color variant which came 1 month later. And you have to realize that RevAtlas at the time especially was still a very small channel. We still are, in the larger scheme of things, we still are a very small channel, but we needed the first mover advantage just as much as anybody else, and we didn't get that. Fast forward to 2020, and we haven't received a single device from this brand for review. And of course, it's up to the brand to send it, but if someone tells you that you can expect a review unit, then you would be expecting the review unit. So last year, I worked for another portal as well, so I'm not under the embargo list for this particular brand, so they generally give it to me on launch day. And of course, over time they refine lists, and they generally bump you up or bump you down, maybe if something goes wrong, I guess. But in my particular case, what happened was I got a device under embargo because I was working for the other portal, and on launch day I got a device for myself as well. Now what happened was, because of that, I actually gave the other device that I got under embargo, or rather the other way around, because it's the same thing as a unit. So I gave the new unit to someone else at the other portal so that they could also have a device, and as a result we both had it. Now fast forward to 2020, and for some reason I don't know, I didn't think everything was right, so I messaged them, because after 3-4 weeks I didn't get any update on the device, no device was coming and stuff. So I just thought I'll ask them to see if everything's okay. So I wanted to make sure that there was no issue between the brand and me, or the agency and me. Maybe I did something or I said something that was not supposed to be said. And of course, if it's a review, then that's my opinion about the device, I can't change that. But if it's something else, maybe something on a personal level or something that I said wrong, then where I shouldn't have said it, or I don't know, whatever mistake it is, and if it's correctable, it should be corrected, then I would have done that. But if not, then I could have moved on. And they said that everything was fine, so I said okay, that's great. And then they told me the issue was that I was listed as part of this other portal only and not as part of RevAtlas. Now for every other brand, they also know that I work under the other portal, they also know that I have RevAtlas, and yet they didn't have this issue. Fine, mistakes were made, and it's time to correct them. So I informed them to correct it at least from the next launch onwards, so hopefully things will be fine. And a week later I get a message saying that we are sending you a review unit of the same. So by then it had already been a month since most people had the device, and at least 2 weeks since everyone pushed out their content on the same. So I was like, okay, better late than never. Let's get it and do whatever content we can and try and do justice to the product, and give people what they're expecting. So a lot of people are asking me about the device then, and then a week goes by, and by then everyone had gotten another device from the brand. I was like still holding on to the other one. I was like, okay, the previous one hasn't come yet, I don't know. So 1 week goes by, I ask him, and again no updates. Again another week goes by, no updates. And now finally by the third week I asked, are you sending it? So they said not yet. And this was around the time I was shifting from Bangalore to Hyderabad, like 2 days prior to that. So I told them, okay, listen, it's too late now. Firstly, I'm shifting. The other thing being that it's over 2 months since everyone else got the device, and month and a half since everyone posted videos on it, and even the newer device that you guys have released has also been out, and they had it for a month by now, and it doesn't make sense for me to cover it. So I said that let's just leave it at this. From the next launch we can see. And the new launch comes around and we get the physical invite. And of course, a physical invite is no sort of, how do you say, it's no sort of indication whether you'll get a device or not. But generally, if you get an email invite, it might not come or not. You might get a save the date thing. You're not sure whether you'll get the device. But generally, when they send you a physical invite, it's more or less because they're expecting you to attend the event, at least in a non-COVID situation, or at least you will get the device which is currently. So for example, Vivo, they had an awesome invite, by the way, which we showed in our camera review. So Vivo sent us the invite, physical invite. It was their camera module. That was great invite, by the way. And they sent us the invite, and they also sent us the product. So generally, when you see an invite, you expect the product. So why else would they go through the trouble of sending you the physical invite if not to send your product? So maybe I was wrong there, fine. But what happened previously? They said that you'll get a device, but 3 weeks later also no device. So my point here, and now today actually, about this last device that I'm speaking about, I asked them, like, are you sending a device? Are you planning to? So they said later in August, maybe. So that gave me some sort of closure. So all I wanted was that. All I wanted to know was whether I'm getting a device or not. Because see, a brand has the complete freedom to decide who it sends it to. They have different criteria they have to consider, obviously. It might be quantitative or qualitative or both. But at the end of the day, brand gets to decide. All I'm asking for is a sort of yes or no as to whether you're sending it or not. Don't keep me waiting for 3 weeks saying that I'll get it, I'll get it, I'll get it. Please be patient or whatever. And at the end, nothing happens. 3 weeks is a long time to wait, especially in this particular smartphone world where we're having so many announcements every single week. So if it was, if I was a bigger channel, for example, if RevAtlas was with millions of subscribers, I could review something like two months later and still get fair amount of views. Make enough ROI or make enough justification for the time and effort that I put into making a particular video or showcasing a particular product. But right now we are still at a stage where we need as much of that first mover advantage as possible. And of course, if a brand tells me that they're not sending it, I'm fine with it. Please don't send it, but I will try other ways. Maybe I might buy it, I might borrow it from some other person who has bought it, or some other YouTuber, for example. If they have bought it or they are at liberty to share it, then we can do that. But if you're actually telling me you're going to share something, then please share it. That's all I'm asking for. If you guys have made the promise to share it, then please share it. Or even if you're not sharing it, please just say outright that you're not sharing it. Don't say we'll get back to you or this, that, etc. I mean, again, I'm telling Asus because they have been completely transparent with me from the beginning. And they actually, this is the ROG Phone 3 that I have here. And this ROG Phone 3, believe it or not, the first one actually, they told me upright, we don't have enough units of it to send you. So I mean, they have units, but it's based on several other criteria, like I mentioned, and I'm not part of that criteria. I don't meet those requirements, and they couldn't send it to me, and I was perfectly fine with it. And I was happy when they included me in the ROG Phone 2 and ROG Phone 3 release under embargo. So now if they said that ROG Phone 3 also we don't have it, as long as you're being upright with me about it and saying that we're now giving it to you, I'm fine with it. But don't say that, hey, we'll be sending it to you, and then say that it's not sent. Of course, there are other different factors to consider, like in this current example, in this current scenario, I mean, where all of us are stuck at home or wherever we are, and there's so many logistical delays, so many other issues, it's impossible to guarantee a certain time frame for delivery. So if you do your part and you send something that you said you will send and it's stuck in transit, then I won't have an issue with that either. But if you tell me that you're going to give something, then you might as well just give it. I don't deserve any device, but if you come up to me and tell me that I'm getting it, then it's bad to go back on that word. That's all. So all I'm asking for is some closure, and I feel that anyone who is in this situation would also want the same. It seems like from whatever has transpired in the past that I'm not really looking forward to dealing with the brand or the agency. And going forward, if I feel that any launches from them are worthy of our coverage, in the sense that you guys want it. In fact, these products that I'm um, referring to are all products that you guys have been asking for quite a bit. And while we may not have the reach of several other people in this particular industry, we still have a small say. And some of you, maybe it's 1,000, maybe it's 10,000, maybe it's 100, I don't know. But even if one person is actually impacted by our videos, our opinion, and actually can make an informed decision, make the right decision, I think then our job is well done. So going forward with this particular brand, whenever possible, whenever required, we will be buying the device and reviewing it. I'm trying to inform them that or I'm going to inform them that it's not required. So I'm not publicly naming the brand, but they will know who they are, because I'm going to tell them that things are not right. This is not how the communication should be. This is not how or what we deserve. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for listening. I just felt like this had to be spoken, and hopefully you guys get an understanding of how things work and how things may not work at times. And thank you for your support for everything. Thanks for everything. See you again in the next one, guys.